You really got the nerve to stand there saying you want kids, Victor, when your own blood has been breathing on this earth for 5 years. That sentence hit the wedding hall like ice water. Heads snapped around. Flowers, candles, silk suits, all froze in place. The millionaire at the altar went still, because the voice was his past, and the 4 little shadows beside her were his truth. The hall was built for victory. White roses climbed the pillars. Lights spilled across marble floors. Guests sat in neat rows wearing smiles they had practiced for a man who never lost. Victor Hawley stood at the front in a suit that cost more than most cars. He looked calm, proud, almost smiling, as if this day was the final stamp on a life that had finally gone his way. Serena, the bride, stood beside him in a dress that glittered like a promise. She was the woman he left his wife for, the woman he said would give him what he had waited on for years. Children, an heir, a family that carried his name. People around the room knew the story because Victor liked stories that made him look honest. He had said his first marriage ended because it had no future. He said Hannah could not give him kids. He said he had tried everything. He said he had suffered in silence. And then he said he found Serena, the one who could finally give him a home full of laughter. The way he told it, he was the hero trapped in a sad chapter too long. Asterisk Hannah watched. Him from the aisle, face steady, heart quiet and firm. She had not come to beg. She had not come to fight. She came because 4 small hands were squeezing hers, and each squeeze carried a question she could no longer ignore. Who is our dad? Why doesn't he live with us? Why don't we have his last name like other kids? The Quadruplets stood in a tight line beside her. 2 boys, 2 girls. Their outfits were simple, clean, pressed with the same care Hannah once pressed Victor's shirts. Their eyes were wide and sharp, the kind of eyes that notice everything even before they know what it means. Their faces were different in tiny ways, but the same in one loud way. They all looked like Victor. Same dark lashes. Same chin. Same little crease near the left cheek when they blinked. Victor's breath vanished. The world around him thinned into a tunnel. His mouth opened, but no sound came. He stared like he was watching a stranger walk into his life with the missing pieces he swore never existed. Serena's fingers slipped from his arm. Her smile cracked. Not from anger, but from fear of what she had just stepped into without seeing. The ground beneath her. Hannah walked forward slowly. The guests did not move. They did not whisper. They were trapped in the moment the way people get trapped when the truth arrives too clean. She stopped a few steps from the altar and looked up at Victor with the calm of a woman who had done her crying years ago. You wanted kids. Here they are. But don't stand here pretending you were cursed. You walked away from them before they even opened their eyes. Victor shook his head in a small, helpless way. Not because he disagreed, but because he was trying to hold up a wall that was already falling. His mind ran backward through old memories, like a film he had never watched closely. Hannah sitting on the balcony late at night, hand on her stomach, quiet as snow. Hannah canceling a dinner date because she felt sick. Hannah looking at him with a kind of fear he mistook for weakness. Then the night he snapped, tired of waiting, tired of hope, tired of her sadness. We need to accept reality. You can't give me children. He had said it without looking up from his phone. He had said it like a verdict he was proud to deliver. Hannah remembered that moment like a cut that never healed straight. She had just found out she was pregnant. Not with 1 baby. With 4. The doctor's office smelled like antiseptic and paper. The screen had shown tiny flickers of heartbeats, all small and fast and real. She had walked out of that clinic shaking, carrying a life that felt impossible and sacred at the same time. She had planned to tell Victor that night. Then he said those words, calm, sure, final. She had felt the room go cold. She understood in one breath that if she told him now, he would doubt her. He would ask for proof. He would make her beg to be believed. And even if he believed her, he would stay not out of love but out of pride, the same pride that would later poison every quiet day Dot, so she didn't tell him. She let him leave on the story he wanted. She carried the truth alone. Asterisk her pregnancy turned brutal. Hospital rooms, metal rails, night nurses with tired eyes, hard light that never dimmed. She slept to the sound of heart monitors and woke to fear sitting on her chest like a stone. When the babies came early, the delivery room was a blur of bright lamps, clean sheets, and 4 cries rising like a miracle that refused to be small. She held each one against her skin and whispered a promise through tears. You are wanted. You are safe. Even if the world is cruel, I will not be. She built life from scratch. A small house, 4 beds, 4 lunchboxes, 4 sets of tiny shoes lined up by the door. She went back to teaching, worked late, learned to stretch time and money. Like air, some nights she collapsed on the couch, still wearing chalk on her hands. Some mornings she woke before sunrise to braid hair, tie laces, pack snacks, kiss foreheads. She did not call Victor. Not because she hated him, but because she refused to let her children be used as a rescue plan for a marriage he already chose. To abandon. Asterisk, but time changes questions. At 5 years old, children start seeing gaps. They start noticing the emptiness behind other kids' Father's Day cards. They start asking why they don't have a man who looks like them waiting at the school gate. Hannah had promised herself they would never grow up believing they were a secret Dot, so she brought them to the place Victor was building his new lie, not to ruin him. To freedom. At the altar, Victor finally found words. His voice sounded thin, like it had never been used for anything human. I didn't know. Hannah nodded once. I know you didn't. That was your choice. The oldest boy stepped forward a half step, eyes locked on Victor. Are you our dad? Victor's knees bent without warning. The billionaire who never bowed to anyone dropped down to their height. Yes, he sighed, and the word broke in his mouth. I am. I'm sorry I wasn't there. One of the girls studied him with a steady look too old for her face. Sorry doesn't bring back time, she said softly. The room felt that line like a punch to the heart. Victor nodded. You're right, but I want to earn it now. If you let me. Hannah watched him closely. She did not soften. She did not harden. She simply stayed true. Earning it is on you, not on them. They owe you nothing. They don't even know you yet. Serena stood frozen, watching the dream she believed in melt into something she couldn't control. She had wanted to be the woman who gave Victor his first child. She had built her place in his life on that promise. Now 4 living proofs were standing between them, and the truth was louder than any vow. Victor stood slowly and looked at Serena. His face held shame, regret, and a new kind of clarity. This wedding stops. My children don't. Gasps rose at last. Not loud, not messy, more like air returning to lungs. Serena didn't fight it. Her eyes filled, and she stepped back, because even she understood there was no winning against a truth like this. Hannah turned to her children. We're going home, she said gently. They nodded, still watching Victor, trying to understand what a father was supposed to look like. Victor took 1 step after them. Can we talk soon? Hannah paused at the aisle's edge. Soon, she said. For them, they walked out together, a line of 5 moving through a room that had been forced to remember what respect looks like. Victor stayed standing in the White Hall. His perfect day shattered, but something real finally in front of him. Wealth had given him everything except time. And time was now the only thing that mattered. Some people think life punishes with noise, but life often teaches with quiet reveals that leave nowhere to hide. Hannah didn't come for revenge. She came for truth. And 4 small lies turned a proud man's excuse into dust. If this story moved you, comment where you're watching. From tell us what you think Victor should do next. And subscribe for more stories where justice arrives quietly, but hits like thunder.